Hi there. Good evening, everyone. It's been a week since checked in. Um, I yeah, just been busy doing some coding, so I've been really deep into all of that. But I feel like my head is going to explode if I don't share something because there is so much happening around the world. So I just thought I'd get some thoughts out there um, to join the conversation to actually see what's happening because we all know the big news is definitely um, Israel and what is happening in Gaza, the Middle East. Netanyahu, President or Prime Minister Netanyahu, is seeing President Trump. They're busy discussing obviously the Middle East and what's happening there. I just feel that we kind of going back to when Iran was the threat. We're busy talking about the same things, about the genocide that is happening in Gaza. No mention of how the hostages are still being kept. They've been used as a negotiation um, point as well, where hostages should be released because um, if Hamas wants to talk anything around a ceasefire, or you can't actually have a ceasefire because they need to be defeated. Um, so why do they not want to release all the hostages? And because of everything that is happening, we can actually see the aggression that is being stepped up in Gaza, um, where there were IDF um, personnel that um, suffered last night um, with an ambush that actually happened um, in Gaza. So that definitely shows there is a lot of aggression still against the Israeli people and or against Israel. Okay, we just want to just iterate. It's like kind of why have the hostages not been released? Why are they still being negotiated with? Um, that is not something that for me makes sense because um, they weren't even part of any of a military type operation. They were um, normal civilians that were actually taken um, when the war actually started, when the aggression started. So, so my thoughts are standing with Israel. You just have to stand with what they still need to do. They need to defeat Hamas. They need to take care of that ideology that is totally and utterly infiltrated the Western world. It's been allowed, um, it's changing how the free world is, and that ideology is totally contrary to the ideology of freedom of choice, because they all want to control. They want to control. They want to take over the current governing of how the free societies are run. Um, So just remember what this channel is about. It's building a strong Israel and a Jewish people. So I stand behind Judaism. Christianity is, that will be, once there's more time to discuss. Christianity is built on the foundation of Judaism. The principles are there. Talking about what the Messiah is, it's not for this discussion as well, but the principles are there. So the principles of Western civilization, which is built on the 10 Commandments, where it says, do not murder, do not steal, okay, love your neighbor as you love yourself, is a principle and value system of good morals, where you look after your neighbor. Islam doesn't. We can actually see the aggression that they're actually showing against the Westerners in the countries that they now occupy and have been allowed into. Okay, even with this Bob Valen, which happened last weekend, he was chanting death to the IDF, okay, is a clear sign of call to action, aggression against a people that is fighting for survival. Okay, the Jewish people through history, you just have to see, they've always been under oppression, attack, or trying to be annihilated. Okay, and this is still continuing. It still continues today. So we have to recognize it, we have to see it. The call to action that is actually happening is, this is something that has been put into your society by the masses through these mass gatherings now, through music, and those are young people, youth people, or people that are easily influenced, that need something to belong to, have now been given something to stand behind. Okay, they probably don't even know what it actually means, where it says death to the IDF, because the IDF is there to protect the Jewish people. If we go back to the Second World War, what actually happened? They didn't have a place in the countries that they were, that would protect them. If you look at Europe, okay, and that's where they were actually taken into one place, or to the places, to be annihilated and exterminated. Okay, that's a one people against another people. Okay, but mainly because it's the Jewish people. The Jewish people are the ones that hold the key to morality, based on the 10 Commandments, based on what was given to them, to us, at Mount Sinai. Okay, and that is something that is totally different than all the other ideas or philosophies about what morality is. Okay, because it was given by God, written on tablets, okay, not by human hands, on paper. It was written on tablets, and just the expounding of those 10 commandments is what builds out the rest of, we can call it the laws or the ways to actually live your life, because they are perfect. They're divine. It was given divinely. So you need to, if you want to rewrite history, if you want to rewrite human morality, you need to get rid of that foundation. That foundation that is set in stone, written on stone. Okay? So that's why it's still under attack. The people that are still standing behind it don't fully know what it is. They want to live a totally different life, thinking that if you replace the IDF, if you replace Israel, if you replace the Jewish people, you can replace that type of ideology. You can replace it with something that is philosophical or evolutionary, if you can call it that way, as well. Just think, okay, this is how we can actually live life, and we can tweak it to make it a little better. But you can't, because the creator of the world, the divine that created everything, has a plan and a purpose, and each person can live and reach their full potential by basing their life foundation on those principles as well, with that morality. So we just need to, this is just an encouragement to actually start standing behind still what's right, standing behind supporting those that love life and not death. Okay, chanting of death to the IDF is not something that is filled with life. Okay, death to anyone is not full of life. Okay, and the evil that is there, that happened on October 7th in 2023 at the Nova Festival and in Israel, that was pure evil. That we can't have in the world. The people that carry that ideology, people that carry that type of belief system, are so indoctrinated. They need to be taken out, because there's no place for that type of evil. There's no place for that type of evil to exist inside of the society. And so those are my thoughts. So just as Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and President Donald Trump, when they're discussing what actually has to happen in the Middle East, it still needs to be the same game plan. We need to get rid of Hamas, we need to get rid of that ideology, we need to get rid of the people that want to see the death to the West, death to freedom, death to those that want to live moral lives, not lives where they want to marry children like it is in the Islamic world. So I just had my thoughts on there. We mustn't get distracted. We mustn't get distracted. We mustn't fall for the chanting, because they're trying to change our belief systems. They're trying to change our foundation. To think, if this is still happening, if this is still coming against us, then maybe I must be wrong. Maybe there's something that I need to change. Okay? But we must stand strong. Israel needs to stand strong. We need to back Israel. We need to back everyone that stands with them, all the Christians. We thank you, because those that stand with Israel understand that it's based on those moral values, which is love your neighbor as yourself. If we just take it that way, we can talk about, we just need to get through this period, and then we start talking about the different understandings of where that religion comes from, and the concept about messiahs and all of that. So that still is my thoughts. So ending it off and just saying, you guys, Just remember, you are good, you are great, you've got the capacity to do good, you've got the capacity to be kind to others, you've got the capacity to help your neighbor, you've got the capacity to feed the poor. So go out and do a good deed. Go out and be the change for a better world, and push back on all this ideology. Do not get bullied into standing back, because these movements, and this movement particularly, will have a small group of people that are very loud, will go into public places, cause mayhem, to actually push you and push us back to thinking they are what society should be. And we should all be like it. But that's not going to happen. We can't allow that to happen. And so that's my thoughts. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and keep strong, be courageous, and we will check you on the next one. Cheers.